Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be making a really high-end ring. It'll be a 6-piece design composed of forged carbon fiber and 10-karat rose gold. A little backstory on this project: I'm making this ring for my friend Gabe. He was actually able to pick the design, including all of the materials. So Gabe, he really likes cars, and he definitely wanted to incorporate carbon fiber, and he made the excellent choice of pairing it with rose gold, which not only looks great with the carbon, but it also serves a little purpose in adding some traditional heritage into this otherwise fairly non-traditional wedding ring. Overall, I'm really excited for the outcome. It's fairly similar to the wedding ring I made for myself, but without including meteorite for his. So his is going to turn out super classy, and you'll notice he actually came to my shop while I was making the ring from start to finish, so you'll see him kind of hanging out in the background of some of these clips. Now, every good ring starts with a good labeled and dimensioned sketch, so we'll get going on that. The design will showcase forged carbon fiber with 2 rose gold accents on the outside. Then on the inside, it'll just be a single piece of rose gold. All right, first we're going to be working with the forged carbon fiber. This is a really nice piece that was made for us by our friends over at Carbon 6 Rings. Our first operation is going to be making a hole in the center of the carbon, and a standard tungsten carbide boring bar will be our tool of choice for that. And now, using a bit of coolant, I'll slowly open up the inside until we reach the correct diameter. Now you can see we've got the perfect size because I slide that rose gold piece in and it fits just right. All right, now we'll start a similar process to the outside diameter. While that's going on, I want to talk to you a little bit about carbon fiber. So most people know carbon fiber for its use in like race cars, jets, spaceships, things like that. But what most people don't know is that it's an amazing material for jewelry. It's lightweight, it's comfortable against your skin, it's hypoallergenic, and this is all while being incredibly strong. Also, its black color, it kind of gives it this stealthy, understated look. And you can get that with plated metals, but that'll always fade. Any sort of coating, that can eventually scratch or fade off. With carbon fiber, it's solid all the way through. It's got this awesome color that's never gonna fade on you. So yeah, carbon fiber, it's an incredible material. And unless you're a fan of this channel, you probably didn't know that it's actually amazing for jewelry as well. And for those reasons, I think we're gonna keep seeing carbon fiber be used in jewelry more and more over the years as people become more aware of it. All right, our piece is ready to start cutting up into smaller subcomponents. To do this precisely, I'm going to use a diamond cutoff wheel mounted on my Fordham rotary tool. Now, the reason for the silver Sharpie is so that I can mark lines where I need to cut, and then the reason for the gold Sharpie is so that later on in the final assembly of the ring, I can match the carbon fiber patterns up perfectly. This will give the ring a really nice look once it's finished, and the gold lines make it really easy to do. Using calipers, I mark my first cut line, and then I'll carefully begin to start the cutting process itself. So first I power on the diamond cutting wheel, and then I slowly bring it into contact with the carbon fiber, and I just cut my way through. All right, got that first one done. Now onto the remaining 2 pieces. One thing to note is I'm cutting each piece slightly wider than their final width. That way I can very precisely sand them to a much more accurate width later. All right, time for some sanding. You'll notice in this up-close shot, we've got a little edge left on each piece that I need to sand away. So I'll go ahead and sand that away, and once that is gone, I'll measure the width out, and then I'll very carefully continue sanding until I'm at the exact width I want. I very slightly oversized these earlier, that way I can use this much more precise method to really carefully hone in on that exact width. Here we go, we've got the 3 carbon fiber pieces ready to go, and you'll notice those 2 gold Sharpie lines. Those are making it really easy to line everything up. That way the pattern will be continuous so that you can see that it was all cut from the same piece when the ring is finished. Here's a look at our first rough assembly. It's looking really nice. All right, time for something really special. I sent the inside rose gold piece home with Gabe, and he's having his fiancee Kelly engrave a little message onto the ring. Now this will be covered up in the finished ring, so it doesn't have to look perfect, but it's just a really awesome sentimental touch that we're able to do, and now Gabe will know that it's always in there. Also, as a side note, I'm really happy to be working on this project. Gabe and Kelly are both such amazing people. They're this ultimate power couple, so it's really cool to be working with them together on this awesome, really special project. All right, now it's time to assemble the ring. I'll be using Astrotech CA adhesive to hold everything together. Okay, I've got all the parts in place exactly how I want them. Note that the forged carbon fiber pieces are still aligned, and you'll see the difference that makes in the finished result. First, I put it all together by hand, but then I switch over to my arbor press and I put some downward pressure on it. That does a really good job of squishing all the materials together and making sure that there's no gaps between anything. All right, now the adhesive is cured, it's time to clean this up, and then we'll move on to the finishing steps. So using a Dremel, I'll just remove any of that excess glue. This just takes a second. Just go quickly around the inside and outside of the ring. Now we're heading back to the lathe. So I'm using my Patrick Adair Supplies expanding ring mandrel for this. We've got the ring mounted in place. Then I'll use my Dremel and a rough sanding bit, and I'll carefully sand away all of our excess carbon fiber. Okay, everything is all flush. Now I'm switching to a really fine grit Dremel wheel, and I'm going to be very carefully adding bevels to the ring by hand. And you can see I'm focusing really hard here. This step is quite tedious, it's easy to mess up, and it does kind of take a good bit of experience in order to do this properly. It's not an easy step. Okay, we're getting so close. It's time for some hand sanding with all the different grits of sandpaper. I start at about 200 grit and I work my way all the way up through 2000. And we edit out a lot of the footage from the sanding because it is quite boring, but to get a good finish, you need to spend your time here. So this actually does take quite a while. Now the sanding is all done, it's time for some Astrotech polish to give it a mirror finish. Okay, there's the outside done. It's looking really nice. Now I'll finish up the inside and we'll be ready to show you guys the finished result. First, I'll do some rough shaping with my Dremel. This gives the ring a really nice comfort finish, makes it really comfortable to wear. Now I'll carefully hand sand the inside, again with all my different grits of sandpaper. Finally, a quick polish using a felt Dremel attachment, and we'll be all finished. All right, nice and cleaned off. Gabriel, congrats on the new ring, hot off the press.
Wow.
What you think?
That's literally perfect.
Good, good, great, because I need to leave.
Take you to the airport.
10 minutes ago. He's taking me to the airport. Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah.
I seriously love this ring so much. Take his ring,
Pick it up.
go get married. This has been a busy week.
Yes.
Thank you guys for watching.